All right, family. So we have to talk about this absolute nonsense. So for two reasons. Two reasons. One, the referees. How? I'm gonna just ask how before we even get to the clip. How did they manage to screw this up badly? This badly. And two, we've seen this cause think pieces in the past with other players. So we are having the exact same conversation just from a different perspective. And it's so idiotic, it's so dumb that we talking about this, or I have to talk about this because this is the clip that has sent the WNBA world into a firestorm. Paige Bueckers scores a layup, turns around, jawing at a ref, and just plows directly into Kelsey Plum, sending her crashing to the floor. And the refs, standing feet away, saw nothing. No whistle, no foul, just silence. And this blatant non-call is being held up as proof of the special whistle that's often talked about. So we're going to break down the shove, why wasn't it called, and why the fans are furious over a double standard that's threatening the league's credibility. Is this just a missed call, or is Paige Bueckers getting special treatment? Let me know what you think down in the comments below, but let's get into it. So I'm going to mute the audio due to copyright purposes, but you guys will see. Paige right at the ball, gets the layup, looks at the ref, boom, shoves right into her. That is wild. So I have a different angle of it. I want to show you guys another up close of it. Mute the audio. Check it out. Literally, boom. You cannot say that you didn't see her. There's no mistake. Like there's a mistake. I ran into her because if you look at it after the layup, look at this. After her layup, she's right there. The ref. Kelsey Plum was been standing there. So that's just wild to me. All right. So let's break down what happened in this Dallas versus Los Angeles game on September 7th, 2 days ago. It's a minute into the third quarter. Paige Bueckers drives, as we just seen in the clip, makes the layup. And then while she's still finishing the layup, she got her head turned completely around, complaining to the referee about a no call on her drive. As she starts jogging back, her eyes are locked in on the ref, not on what's in front of her, allegedly, and right in her path is Kelsey Plum. Buckers doesn't just bump her, she rams into Plum's back and gives a clear two-handed push. Now, when you look at this clip, right? Look at it. It's a difference between running into somebody, like this would be her running into somebody, but to jut your body forward, now that's intentional, man. Come on, because if you just turning around and you just running, you like, oh my bad, you'll try to, slide over or juke over to the right. But Buckers wasn't trying to do none of that. She just said, like, come on, man. That was intentional. Kelsey goes tumbling. The video just went viral instantly, shows Paige barely breaking stride. She just doesn't flinch, doesn't look back, doesn't offer a helping hand. She just keeps on jogging. And the most stunning part, the complete inaction from the refs. A player was shoved to the floor right in front of a referee. You don't believe me? Let's go back and check the clip. She complaining to the ref. Look at the referee though. Look at the referee. Just standing there. Just standing there. Look at the ref and look at Paige. So when you look at this thing, right? A player shoved to the floor in front of a referee and play just continued. No comment foul, nothing. It was a ghost call. Now look, you could argue she didn't see Plum because she was distracted by the ref. Intentional, probably not. Did she care? Nope, because she kept running back on defense. But she sure as hell made it look intentional. You can't just knock someone over on their behind and just keep running. The follow through, that little shove after the contact, makes it really hard to defend a pure accident. But here's the key point: intent doesn't matter. When you knock a player to the ground, it's a foul. That's basketball 101. And for the referees to completely ignore it has opened up a Pandora's box, because this wasn't just a missed call for a lot of people. It was a statement. So why did this one non-call create such a massive firestorm? Because for a growing number of fans, this isn't an isolated incident. It's the latest example of the Paige Bueckers special whistle. The idea is simple. As a top rookie and a new face of the league, she's getting calls other players aren't. And this play is exhibit A. Like, genuinely, we saw this last year when Caitlin Clark would flail, not realize what she was doing, hit someone, and get rightfully called for a technical. And then suddenly there are think pieces calling her a dirty player. If that's the case, Paige Bueckers is a dirty player for this. If Kaylin did this, it would cause World War CC all over the place. All over again, World War CC, right? And if Angel Reese did this, it would cause World War II. In fact, Angel did something really similar to a player. It was completely accidental, but she clocked her and picked up a flagrant one. If this was Aaliyah Boston, it's a flagrant foul. With Paige, it's a no call, right? So fans on social media are blowing this up, saying that Kelsey probably deserved it. That's wild. Kaylin would have got 3 technical fouls for that. I agree. She definitely gets that special whistle for fouls, and apparently the refs can't see her running over anyone either. I agree. She wasn't watching where she was going. Nothing dirty about this. I gotta disagree. She did it on purpose. Plus, Plum is a flopper. All right. So when you look at this, you have people basically saying majority of the same thing, right? They are saying that if a more physical player had done the same thing, they would have gotten a tech. Maybe even got chucked from the game. But with Paige, the refs just swallowed their whistles. This wasn't even called as a common foul. Right in front of the referee, she rammed the player to the ground, and it wasn't even called as a common foul. At least call it a foul because it's a foul. Even if you want to argue that Paige didn't know, it's a foul. And there are no ifs and buts about it. You shove somebody on the ground, it's a foul. So let's zoom out because this is bigger than just Paige and Kelsey Plum. This whole thing hits right at the WNBA's credibility. And it's happening when the league has more eyes on it than ever with millions of new fans watching, right? But every part of the game is under a microscope, especially the officiating when stuff like this is going on, right? The special whistle debate has been bubbling up all season. We all seen the baffling, inconsistent calls. The argument is that the league is trying to protect its rising stars, creating a double standard that hurts the game itself. It's one thing to protect your biggest assets, but where do you draw the line between protection and flat out favoritism? The Buckers Plum incident is so damaging because it feels like that line was just completely ignored, and it feeds the narrative that games can be influenced by who the league decides is untouchable. And we've seen this conversation around other stars, but now with social media, every single non-call gets clipped and debated by millions within seconds. And this puts the WNBA in a tough spot. You have these amazing young stars driving ratings through the roof, but on the other hand, if the fans and more importantly the players themselves start to believe the game isn't being called fair, the whole foundation starts to crack. And the incident is more than just a shove, it's a tipping point. It forces a league wide conversation about what's more important, protecting the stars or protecting the game. So, what are we left with? We have a blatant shove seen by millions, yet seemingly invisible to the three people on the court paid to see it. We have Kelsey Plum pushed to the ground with no call, and we have Paige Bueckers at the center of a special whistle controversy that this one moment has now supercharged. And the refs failing to make a call, any call, did more damage than a foul ever could. It has validated the frustrations of so many fans who believe a double standard is in full effect. If the foul gets called, we don't have this conversation. We're not having this conversation if the referees just blow their whistle, but they didn't. The league is soaring, but its wings could get clipped by a crisis of credibility. And if fans and players can't trust the whistle, the entire product suffers. And this wasn't just a missed call in a September game. It was a moment that crystallized the biggest challenge facing the WNBA today. But that's what I think. I want to know what you guys think. Was this a simple mistake by the referees, or is it proof of a special whistle for Paige Bueckers? What does the WNBA need to fix need to do to fix this officiating problem? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments section below. And if you want more breakdowns on the biggest stories in sports, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Peace.